Shadow.
This next door, notice you don't want to look at it. It's a little apart from the others, isn't it? Set off on its own. And as we walk up to it, something in you wants to look away, wants to keep moving, wants me to pick a different door. I know, because this is the one with the secret behind it. The thing that you do that no one knows. The thing you swore, really swore, meant it with your whole chest, that you would stop, and then didn't, and then swore again. I'm not going to make you say what's behind your version of this door. I don't need to know the shape of it, and you don't need to confess it to me to walk out of here. Every man's a little different, but the room works the same for all of them. So take my arm, and let's go in, gently, and hear me before we open it. I am not bringing you here to shame you. There's been enough of that in this room already. I'm bringing you in here to show you something no one ever told you. Something that changes everything. Come in. Welcome back to the clear path of the Warrior Guide, Season 1, The Shadow Realm. This isn't about becoming someone else. It's about remembering who you were before the world told you who to be. This is the room men carry the most shame into. The pattern, the loop, the thing you can't seem to stop. And I'm going to walk you through it with more care than any room yet. Because what's kept you stuck in here was never weakness. It was a misunderstanding about what this room is, and about how you were ever brought into it in the first place. Let me show you how this whole world works. Stay close. Before I show you the loop, I have to show you something almost no one understands. How a man ends up in this room in the first place. Because you were brought in here long time ago, earlier than you think, and by a door you would never suspect. Here's the first secret of the whole realm. It is always recruiting, and it recruits young. The earlier it can get a man in, the deeper and the longer he stays. So it reaches you when you're a boy, when you have no defenses, when you can't even see what's happening. Most men never realize how early they were brought in. And here's how it gets a child in, because this is the part that flips everything. It can't use pain to recruit a child. A boy hasn't been wounded yet. He hasn't been betrayed, cheated, heartbroken, robbed of anything. So the realm can't hand him a painkiller because he has no pain. So it uses the other door. It uses desire. Remember what I told you. There are only two ways into the rooms of this realm, the wound and desire. And to a young man with no wound yet, it comes as desire. The desire to be seen, to be cool, to belong to a circle, to be like the older ones you look up to. That's the bait. Not a relief, but belonging. Not this will take your pain away, but this will make you one of us. The desire to belong opens the door to the pattern. Now let me show you something that will tell you the whole truth about the thing you do, just by looking at the two ends of life. Go back, all the way back, to the child you were. Did that boy, 7, 8 years old, ever once dream of becoming this? Did he lie in bed and think, when I grow up, I want to be the one who can't stop, the anxious one, the one who hates himself in the mirror? No, never. Not one child ever lived dreamed down. Every boy dreamed up. The car, the house, to be a champion, to be strong, to be good, to be loved. The negative was never in the dream. It was never in you. Now look at the other end of life. The wise old man, 70, 80 years old, at peace, at the end of the road. Does he choose this? Does a wise elder pick up the thing for the first time and build his life around it? No, nobody at 80 starts. The wisest version of a man doesn't want it either. So look at what that tells you. The purest end of life, the child, never wanted it. And the wisest end of your life, the elder, doesn't want it either. Both ends of you say no. It only lives in the middle. And that's the tell. Because if the thing isn't there at the start when you're pure, and it isn't at the end when you're wise, then it was never truly you. It was only ever a visitor in the middle. And here's the quiet proof. You already know this. Every man in the grip of the pattern tells himself the same thing. I'll stop later. I'll stop soon. Just not right now. Listen to what that actually is. It's a confession. When you say I'll stop later, you're admitting that that thing doesn't belong in your future. You have already agreed it's not truly yours. You're just negotiating the timing. The child in you never wanted it. The elder in you won't keep it. And even the man in the middle is quietly planning to be rid of it. 3 versions of you agree. Only the pattern disagrees. Now here's the part that's the hardest, the most important. And I need you to hold it with me gently, because it's the truest thing about how the seed got planted. The thing you struggle with did not come to you from an enemy. Think back to the very first time it came to you from someone you loved, someone you trusted, a family member, a friend, an older kid you looked up to, the circle you wanted to belong to. It was passed to you by the coolest hands you had. And that's exactly why it got past every defense you owned. Because you would never refuse the people you love. A stranger in an alley you would run from. But your best friend, your family, the one you admired, when they offered, you took it. Not because you wanted the thing, but because you wanted them. And here's the proof, it was never really about the thing itself. The first time, your body said no. Remember it? The first cigarette. You coughed, you choked, your throat burned, everything in you rejected it. The first drink, you hated the taste. Your whole mouth recoiled. Your body, in its wisdom, said this is not good. Get it out. And you overrode your own body's no to belong. And that's how you know it was never the thing you wanted. It was the belonging. The thing was just the price of admission. And hear this, because it matters and it's mercy. The people who handed it to you, they mostly didn't mean you harm. They weren't plotting to make you an addict. They couldn't see the road ahead any more than you could. They only saw the moment, the good time, the sharing, the belonging. So this isn't about blaming them. It's about seeing clearly how the darkness works. It is patient, and it comes through love, because love is the one door you would never lock. It plants the seeds through the hands you trust in the years you're too young to know, and then it waits. And there's a reason it was that thing for you and a different thing for the next man, because the realm doesn't hand everyone the same key. It finds the one that fits your lock. Every man has a nature, a particular wiring, and the realm has a different thing for every nature. For the restless, racing man whose mind never settles, there's a thing that finally makes him feel calm, like his brain works right for the first time. For the heavy, weighed down man, a thing that finally lifts him. For the tense, guarded man, a thing that finally loosens him. Each one finds the door that fits, and that's the way it hooks so deep. Because for a while, it doesn't feel like a prison. It feels like the missing piece. It feels like the thing that finally completes you. You didn't think you were taking a drug. You think you found the thing that makes you finally feel like yourself. That's the cruelest disguise in this room. The thing that will grind you down enters your life looking like the very thing that fixes you. And a man will defend that thing that fixes him with everything he has. Because he's not defending a habit. He thinks he's defending the one thing that makes him whole. He doesn't know yet that the wholeness was on credit. And the bill is the rest of his life. So now you see how you were brought in, young, through desire, by someone you loved, with a thing that fits your nature. And for a while, and this is important, it was fun. Let's be honest about that. Because pretending it was always a misery is a lie, and lies don't heal. In the early years, it was a good time, it was social, it was belonging. There was no wound in it yet. It was pure desire, pure play. But remember the pulse underneath the whole realm. Life is a test. A man is born into struggle. The very first thing you did on earth was come out crying, because this life is trial by design. And so life will bring you the test. It always does. The betrayal comes, the heartbreak comes, the loss, the ruin, the marriage that turns into war. Life cuts you, because that's what life here does. It tests. And now, in the middle of that fresh wound, you reach for the thing your hand already knows. And here, right here, is the inversion, the most important moment in this whole room, because the thing doesn't change, but your reason does. What you once reached for out of desire, to belong, to have a good time, you now reach for out of a wound, to make the pain stop. The bait became the hook. The party favor became the painkiller. And the moment that flip happens, the game truly begins. Because now you're not playing anymore. Now you're medicating. Now the shadow part of you is driving. That's how the room hands you off to each other. Desire recruited you and built the habit. Then life sent you a wound, and then the wound took the habit that desire had built and turned it into a chain. The desire got you in the door. The wound locks it behind you, and you never even saw the switch happen. You just noticed one day that the thing you used to do for fun had become the thing you couldn't live without. Look at the room. See the path worn into the floor? Round, like a track. A circle walked so many times, the stone is smooth. That's the loop. That's what this room is. A man comes in here carrying something heavy. A pain, a stress, a ache he can't put down. And in here is the thing that makes you stop hurting. For an hour, for a while, for a moment, the thing he reaches for returns to that private thing, the secret one. And it works. That's the part no one admits. It works. For a moment, the weight lifts. The ache goes quiet. And he gets a breath of relief. And then it wears off. And the weight comes back, heavier now. Because riding on top of it is a new weight. The shame of having reached for it again. And now he's carrying the original pain, plus the shame of the pattern, which is more than before, which makes him reach again, which works again for an hour, which wears off again, heavier again, round and round. That's the track worn into the floor. The man thinks he's choosing the pattern. He's not choosing. He's being driven. By a load, the pattern itself keeps making heavier. Watch him walk the circle. He's now weak. He's exhausted. That's a difference, and the whole room depends on it. Now let me take you deeper than most men ever go in this room, because there's something here the world has never actualized. Most people think the pattern is about the pain, that you reach for the thing because something hurts, and that's true. But here's the part almost no one sees. You don't have to feel the pain for it to be there. You don't have to remember a wound. You don't even have to believe you have one, because the reaching itself The very fact that you reach for something to numb, that reach is the proof. Think about it. A man at peace does not need to numb. A man who is whole, aligned, at rest, he's not reaching for anything because there's nothing screaming to be quieted. So the moment you notice you need the thing, the cigarette, the drink, the substance, the scroll you can't put down, that need is a message. It's smoke, and smoke means fire. Even if you can't feel the fire anymore, the pattern is not just hiding the pain. The pattern is the evidence of the pain. So you don't need to go digging for a memory to just know this room is yours. If you reach, you have the answer. The reach is the proof. Now let me show you why this is so hard to break. Because it's not just emotional, it's physical. It's carved into you. Every time you walk the loop, every time you reach for the thing to get relief, something happens in the brain. The circuits that fire together, wire together. A little path gets walked, and the next time, the path is slightly deeper. Until after years, it's not a path anymore, it's a canyon. A groove worn so deep into you that your feet find it in the dark without you even deciding. That's why it feels automatic. That's why just stop is almost impossible. You're not fighting a choice. You're fighting a canyon carved into your own wiring for years. And here's the part that goes deeper than neurology. The part I need you to see. Who walks that path? It's not your brain, it's your identity, the ego, the you think you are, has walked that groove so many times that the path has become part of who it thinks it is. I'm a smoker. I'm someone who needs a drink to unwind. This is just what I do. The ego doesn't just have the habit. The ego lives on the path, which means that when you try to quit, it doesn't feel like dropping a habit. It feels like losing a piece of yourself, because the ego thinks the path is itself. That's the real reason the pattern defends itself so hard. It's not just carved into your brain. It's braided into your identity. And to walk free, you're not just breaking a habit. You're going to have to let your ego discover it was never that path to begin with. Now watch what the ego does the moment anyone gets close to the truth. Because this is the cleverest mask in this whole room. The moment someone says, maybe you're numbing something, the ego does not surrender. It defends. And it defends with one move. It compares down. It points a finger to someone worse. I only smoke. I'm not a druggie. I just drink a little. I'm not an alcoholic. It's just weed. It's not that bad. Everyone does it. You hear it. Every one of those is the ego finding someone worse to stand next to so it can feel clean by comparison. That's the mask. The ego keeps the pattern alive by measuring against the worst instead of against the truth. So here's how we take the mask off. And we don't do it by arguing. We do it by moving the truth around. Try this with me, right here. Whatever your thing is, the thing that ego says isn't that bad, move it on to the people you love and ask honestly. Would it be okay if your mother did it? Your father did it? Your grandparents did it? Would you be at peace watching your kids do the exact thing you do? Your son, your wife, your sister, the people you would protect with your life. If they picked up the exact pattern, would you say that's fine? It's not that bad? Or would something in you tighten and say no, not them? Feel what just happened. The thing the ego called fine for me suddenly isn't fine at all when it's on someone you love. And that tells you everything. Because truth is truth for everyone, or it was never truth. If it's not okay for your daughter, your son, it was never actually okay for you. You were just protecting it with a double standard. Put it on your mother, your father, your child, your wife, and watch. The truth stands on every face. The lie dissolves on every face. The ones you love are the mirrors the ego can't lie to. And there's a second test, even simpler. the test of the child. Would this be pure for a child? If this is something clean, natural, aligned with how you were made, or is it something that gives you a little good while quietly taking something from you? Because that's the real tell of everything in this room. It brings good and it also brings harm, both at once. The smoke relaxes you and poisons you. The drink loosens you and dims you. Anything that has to give you a little good to cover the harm that it does. That's the pattern, wearing a mask. Measure it against what's pure, not what's worse. And that mask can't survive. Now stop, breathe, and notice what just happened in the last few minutes. Because it matters more than anything I've said. I just drew the trap so precisely that you felt it close around you, section by section. I named the thing you do, how it got in, how it wired itself, how it hides. And somewhere in there, you felt seen, maybe too seen. Feel that. Now hear me, because this is the whole turn. That was not me trapping you. That was me showing you the trap from the inside, so that you could finally see the thing that has been invisible your entire life. Because here's the law of the whole realm. You cannot escape a room you cannot see. But look at what I just did. I described your trap so exactly that it frightened you. And think about what that means. If I, a man who has never met you, can describe it that precisely, then it's not uniquely yours. It's a machine. It runs the same way in every man who walks into this room. And a machine can be understood. And what can be seen can be escaped. I didn't just scare you with the trap. I handed you its schematics. And one more thing, the most important thing, go back through that last few minutes, all the way down into the deepest part of the trap, and noticed I was right there beside you the whole time. My hand never left your arm, not once. Even as I walked you into every center of this thing that has haunted you your whole life, you were never alone in it. That's the difference between this room and every other time the trap had you. Every other time you were stranded, alone in the jungle. The beast on you, no one coming. This time, a man who has already escaped this trap walked into it with you, holding you, and never let you go. You were never being trapped. You were being shown. So the fear you felt when I named it so exactly, let it turn right now into the opposite. You are not trapped into something no one understands. You are standing inside a machine that has been fully mapped, next to a man who knows the way out because he walked it. That's not a cage. That's the beginning of the door. And let me tell you how I know all this. Not from a book, from the inside. I know this room because I was born into it and lived in it for almost my whole life. I picked up my pattern young, a boy, barely 15, already reaching for something to take the edge off a world that felt like too much. And it became who I was for years, for most of my life. And I want you to hear this part, because it's the whole reason I can promise you a way out. I tried to quit, and I came back. I tried again, and I went back. Again, and I went back. Willpower, shame, promises, streaks. I did them all, and the canyon won every time. Because I was fighting the path instead of healing the man who walked it. I lived that loop for decades. And then one day, it stopped. Not because I finally found enough willpower. Because I finally found something else. Wholeness. I did the deep work. I brought the old wounds into light. I forgave what needed forgiving. Others and myself. I came into acceptance, into alignment. My mind, my body, and my soul finally pointing the same direction. And most of all, I connected truly to the one who made me. And when the wound underneath finally healed, the reaching just stopped. The path was still there, but the one who used to walk it wasn't hurting anymore. So he had no reason to. I didn't white knuckle my way out. I healed my way out. That's not a theory I'm selling you. That's a map I drew with my own escape. I am not standing outside this room telling you how to get out. I'm a man who lived in it longer than you have probably been fighting it. And walked out. And came back in on purpose to walk you out too. This room has a door. I know exactly where it is. I've used it. Follow me. Step deeper with me and look at where the tracks connect. Because this room has a door in the back and explains everything. See it? That back door leads into the room you have already walked. The loneliness, the ache of being unseen, the wound that got you running in the first place. Because nobody walks into the pattern room for no reason. The pattern is always downstream of a wound. A man doesn't reach for the secret thing because he's had. He reaches for it because something hurts. And he was never shown another way to make it stop. Remember the loneliness room? The false belonging? The company in the hiding? This is where that road often ends. The pattern is what a lonely, unseen, hurting man reaches for when there is no one to reach for. It's not a disease, it's a bandage, a desperate, self-wounding bandage on a wound no one ever helped him close. And that changes the whole picture. Because if the pattern is a bandage on the wound, then fighting the pattern was always fighting the wrong thing. You can rip the bandage off 100 times through sheer willpower, and the wound is still there, still bleeding, still sending you back. The loop doesn't run on weakness. It runs on an unhealed wound, and you cannot out-willpower a wound. Now I need to say the thing that this room has spent years convincing you isn't true, and I want you to actually hear it. In the dark, where the shame lives, you were never weak. The whole time you were walking in circles, hating yourself, calling yourself weak, broken, no discipline. You were wrong about what was happening. You weren't weak, you were depleted. That's the difference, and it's everything. A weak man has a flaw in his character. A depleted man is a strong man who ran out of fuel. You were carrying a wound nobody helped you heal, reaching for the only relief you could find, and burning every drop of your willpower trying to stop. And when the willpower ran dry, the loop took you again, and you called that weakness. It wasn't. It was a man running on empty, still trying. The fact that you kept swearing to stop, that you kept getting back up and trying again, year after year, even as you kept losing, that is not the record of a weak man. That's not weakness. That's a strong man fighting the wrong war, exhausted, and blaming himself for losing the battle that was never winnable by the way he was fighting it. So put the word weak down. Leave it here on the floor in this room. It was never the right word. The right word was wounded. And wounded is something that can heal. Come towards the door with me. I won't leave you walking that circle. There's a mark of light in this room. And it's the thing that finally breaks the loop. After all the years, willpower couldn't. Here it is. The way out runs through the wound. Not willpower. Stop fighting the pattern. I mean it. Stop making the pattern the enemy. It was never the disease. It was the bandage. And you can't heal by attacking the bandage. Turn around. Go through the back door and tend to the wound, the loneliness, the unhealed pain, the thing underneath that's been sending you here all along. Because here's the law of this room. When the wound underneath finally begins to heal, the reach for the relief begins to lose its grip, not through force, but because the pain it was medicating is finally getting treated at the source. Go through the wound, that's the door. And before we leave, let me leave you with a thread, because someone walked the very first version of this room. And his story is the one I most want you to carry. I'll tell you fully when we climb, but know this now. The very first being who ever lived, the father of all of us, fell. He was given one thing not to do, and in the moment of weakness, he did it. The first man. And he felt the exact thing you feel in this room. The shame. That how could I, after I swore I wouldn't. So if you think your failing makes you uniquely broken, hear this. Failing was written into the human story from the very first man. You're not the exception. You're a son of the one who fell first. But that's not the part that matters most. Here's the part that matters most. He was also the first man to turn back. He didn't stay in shame. He turned and he reached up and he asked to be forgiven, and he was. The first fall and the first turning back happened in the same man, which means the way home was built into us from the very beginning. Failing was never the end of the story. The turning back was always there, always open, from the first man who ever needed it. Peace be upon that first father of ours, the best of beginnings. And his rope says, no matter how many laps you've walked, the turn back has never once been closed to you. Not after the first fall, not after the 1000th. The door home was always open from the start. I'll walk you out now. The darker rooms are still ahead, but you leave this one knowing the truth it hid from you. You were never weak, only wounded. The way out is through the wound, not the willpower. And the turn back has always been open since the very first man who ever fell. Blade drawn, gentle hand, I got you. This isn't about becoming someone else. It's about remembering who you were before the world told you who to be. The man underneath the loop was never weak, only tired, and who can still turn back. Walk with me.
Walked alone with my shadow, till the lies fell to none, and the life they were chasing turned to dust, while my deeds built the one. Every deed plants a tree, in a place no eye can see, and everything this world calls winning was quietly taken from me. Some wins cut deeper than losses, some losses set men free, and the trees I planted in silence became the shade protecting me.
This podcast and everything we're building here has been brought to you by Spartan Builders. The Builder's Plug, a Spartan Builders company. Building the world and the men building it.